She had the most beautiful smile I'd ever seen, even through a computer screen. Her name was Lynn, and she messaged me on Facebook with broken English that somehow melted my heart. 18 months later, I discovered that smile belonged to someone else entirely. I'm Thomas, and this is how I lost $180,000 to a woman who never existed. I'm sitting in a cyber cafe in Ho Chi Minh City, staring at a computer screen that's showing me the truth I never wanted to see. The woman I'd been talking to for a year and a half. The woman I'd fallen in love with. The woman I'd sent my retirement money to. She's sitting right here in this cafe. But she's not who she claimed to be, and what I'm about to discover next will destroy everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and the internet. But let me take you back to where this nightmare began, because the warning signs were there from the very first message. I just chose to ignore them. It was March 15th, 2022. I remember the exact date because I'd screenshot our first conversation. It felt like destiny. I was 58, recently divorced after 25 years of marriage, and feeling lonelier than I'd ever felt in my life. My ex-wife Jennifer had left me for her tennis instructor, taking half of everything and most of my confidence with her. I was scrolling through Facebook late one evening when a friend request popped up. Linh Nguyen from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Her profile picture showed a stunning woman in her early 30s with long black hair, gentle eyes, and that smile that would haunt my dreams for the next year and a half. I almost deleted the request. I'd gotten plenty of fake friend requests from scammers over the years, but something about her picture seemed genuine. She wasn't posing provocatively or wearing revealing clothes. She looked natural, authentic, real. Authentic, real. Her first message came an hour after I accepted her friend request. Hello, Thomas. I hope you don't mind me writing to you. I saw your profile and you seem like a very kind person. I work as English teacher here in Ho Chi Minh City. Your photos show you travel many places. I love travel too, but never have chance to see America. Maybe we can be friends. The English was broken, but there was something charming about it. I'd traveled to Vietnam twice during my career as a construction project manager, and I'd always found the Vietnamese people to be warm and friendly. Maybe this was just a young woman looking to practice her English with a native speaker. I wrote back. Hello, Lynn. Nice to meet you. I don't mind you writing at all. I visited Vietnam and loved it. It's a beautiful country with wonderful people. I'd be happy to be friends and help you practice English if you'd like. Her response came within minutes. Thank you so much, Thomas. You are very kind. I am so happy to have an American friend. Can you tell me about your life in America? I am very curious about Western culture. And that's how it started. Simple, innocent, friendly. Just two people from different worlds sharing stories and getting to know each other. For the first month, our conversations were completely platonic. She told me about her job teaching English to children, her small apartment in District 1, her elderly mother who lived in a rural village outside the city. I told her about my work, my recent divorce, my love of travel and photography. She was curious about everything. American food, American movies, American holidays. Her questions seemed genuine, and her responses showed real interest in learning about my culture. The first red flag came in week 3. But I was too charmed to notice it. She mentioned that her mother was sick and needed expensive medicine. I am very worried about Mama, she wrote. Doctors say she needs special medicine, but it costs too much money for me. I work very hard, but teacher's salary in Vietnam very small. I felt bad for her, but I didn't offer money. Not yet. I just expressed sympathy and hoped her mother would get better. The second red flag was when she started asking about my work and my financial situation. You must be very successful man to travel so much, she wrote. Construction work in America pay very well, yes? I wish I could make good money like you. I should have been suspicious, but her questions seemed natural. She was from a developing country where American salaries seemed enormous by comparison. Of course, she'd be curious about the economic differences. The turning point came in month 2 when she started calling me Dear Thomases and sharing more personal details about her life. She told me about her ex-boyfriend who had cheated on her, her dreams of traveling the world, her fear of ending up alone. I never meet man like you before, she wrote one evening. You are so kind and understanding. Most Vietnamese men not like this. They think woman only good for cooking and cleaning. But you respect me like equal person. I was flattered. I was flattered. After the humiliation of my divorce, hearing that someone appreciated my kindness felt incredible. Here was this beautiful, intelligent woman who valued the qualities my ex-wife had taken for granted. The conversations became more frequent and more intimate. She started sending me photos, not inappropriate ones, but personal ones. Pictures of her having coffee with friends, visiting temples, walking through markets. She always looked happy. Always had that beautiful smile. I started sending photos too. Pictures of my daily life, my apartment, my weekend trips. She seemed genuinely interested in everything I shared. By month 3, we were talking every day. She would message me good morning when she woke up, which was my evening, and good night when she went to bed, which was my morning. The time difference meant we were rarely online at the same time, but we left each other long messages throughout the day. Then came the first request for money. Her mother had been hospitalized, and the medical bills were overwhelming. "I am so sorry to ask this," she wrote, "but I don't know what to do. Hospital want payment before they continue treatment. I have no one else to turn to. Can you help me? I promise I will pay you back when I can." I should have said no. I should have recognized this as a classic scam technique. But I'd been talking to Lynn for 3 months. I'd seen photos of her mother, heard stories about her health problems. This felt real. I sent $500 through Western Union. It was my first mistake, but it wouldn't be my last. Lynn was incredibly grateful. "You are angels sent from heaven," she wrote. "I cannot believe how kind you are. I will never forget this. I love you so much, Thomas. Not just as friend, but as man I want to be with forever." Those were the words I'd been waiting to hear. A beautiful woman, 15 years younger than me, saying she loved me. Saying she loved me. All the pain from my divorce, all the loneliness, all the self-doubt. It melted away in that moment. We started talking about meeting in person. She said she'd always dreamed of visiting America, but the visa process was difficult and expensive. Maybe I could visit her in Vietnam first. I started planning a trip. I'd been to Vietnam before for work, but this would be different. This would be to meet the woman I was falling in love with. But then came another emergency. Lynn's apartment had been broken into and her laptop was stolen. As an English teacher, she needed it for work. Could I help her buy a new one? I sent $800. Then came the medical emergency. She needed surgery for appendicitis, but Vietnamese insurance didn't cover everything. I sent $1,200. Then her mother needed a wheelchair because her condition had worsened. I sent $400. Each request came with photos, hospital bills, medical records, receipts. Everything looked legitimate. And Lynn was always grateful, always promising to pay me back, always telling me how much she loved me. By month 6, I'd sent over $5,000, but I didn't care. I was in love, and love makes you do crazy things. I was planning my trip to Vietnam, looking forward to finally meeting her in person. That's when the photos started getting more personal, not explicit, but intimate. Pictures of her in her pajamas saying she was getting ready for bed and thinking of me. Pictures of her in the shower, strategically covered but clearly meant to be seductive. "I wish you were here with me," she would write. "I am so lonely without you. I dream about the day we can be together." I was completely hooked. This beautiful woman was sending me intimate photos and telling me she loved me. I felt like the luckiest man in the world. The requests for money became more frequent. Her teaching salary was cut due to COVID-19. Her mother needed more expensive treatment. Her apartment rent was raised. Each crisis seemed plausible, and I always helped. By month 9, I'd sent over $15,000. My savings were being depleted, but I didn't care. I was helping the woman I loved, and soon we'd be together. That's when she started talking about marriage. "I want to be your wife," she wrote. "I want to take care of you and make you happy." But Vietnamese wedding very expensive. My family expect traditional ceremony. I am embarrassed to ask. "But could you help with wedding costs?" I sent $3,000 for wedding preparations, then another $2,000 for her wedding dress, then $1,500 for the reception venue. By month 12, I'd sent over $25,000. I was liquidating my retirement accounts, but I told myself it was an investment in our future together. Finally, I booked my flight to Vietnam. I was going to meet Lin in person, and we were going to get married. I'd found my second chance at love, and nothing was going to stop me. The trip was planned for month 15 of our relationship. I'd sent her my flight details, and she'd promised to meet me at the airport. I was more excited than I'd been in years. But 3 days before my flight, everything changed. Lin's messages became frantic. There was a family emergency. Her father had been arrested on false charges, and they needed money for a lawyer immediately. Please, Thomas, I need $10,000 right away. If we don't pay lawyer, my father will go to prison. I am so sorry to ask, but I have no choice. Please help my family. This was my breaking point. I'd already sent over $30,000, and now she was asking for $10,000 more. Something finally clicked in my brain. This was too much, too convenient, too urgent. I told her I couldn't send more money until after we met in person. Her response was immediate and angry. You don't trust me? After everything we share? After all the love I give you? You think I am lying about my father? For the first time in 15 months, I stood my ground. I'm not saying you're lying, but I can't send more money. Let's meet as planned, and we'll figure out your father's situation together. She went silent for 2 days. Then came a message that made my blood run cold. Thomas, I am so sorry. I cannot meet you at airport. My father's situation is very bad. I must go to my hometown to help family. Maybe we can meet next time you come to Vietnam. I was devastated. I had spent $30,000 and 15 months of my life building a relationship with this woman. And now, she was backing out of our meeting at the last minute. But I'd already paid for the flight, and I'd already taken time off work. I decided to go to Vietnam anyway. Maybe I could find her. Maybe we could work things out. That's how I ended up in Ho Chi Minh City, sitting in a cybercafe, about to make the most shocking discovery of my life. I'd been searching for Lin online, trying to find more information about her. I'd reverse-searched her photos on Google, and what I found made me sick to my stomach. The photos she'd been sending me for 15 months. They belonged to a Vietnamese model named Thuy Trang. The intimate photos, the casual shots, the family pictures, they were all stolen from this model's social media accounts. But the worst part was yet to come. While I was sitting in that cybercafe, a young Vietnamese woman approached me. She'd been watching me search for Lin's photos, and she recognized them. Excuse me, she said in perfect English, but I think you are looking for someone who is not real. Those photos you are looking at, they are my friend's photos. Her name is Thuy Trang, and she is a model here in Ho Chi Minh City. The woman introduced herself as Mai, and she worked at a company that investigated online fraud. She told me that the photos I'd been receiving were part of a large-scale romance scam operation. There is no Lin Hin Nguyen, Mai explained. The person you have been talking to is probably a man who works for a scam organization. They use stolen photos from models and actresses to create fake profiles. Then they target lonely Western men and build fake relationships to steal money. I felt like I was going to throw up. 15 months of love, $30,000. And it was all based on a lie. But Mai wasn't finished. Would you like to meet the real woman in the photos? She asked. Thuy Trang is here in the city, and she might be willing to talk to you. She has been trying to get these scammers to stop using her pictures. 2 hours later, I was sitting in a coffee shop face-to-face with Thuy Trang, the real woman whose photos had been used to scam me. She was beautiful, just like in the photos. But she was also angry and frustrated. This has been happening for 2 years, she told me through Mai's translation. My photos are being used by scammers all over the world. I have tried to report them, but they just create new accounts with my pictures. She showed me dozens of fake profiles using her photos, all with different names and stories. Lin was just one of many fake identities created with her face. I am so sorry this happened to you, Thuy Trang said, but I have never talked to you before. I don't speak English very well, and I have never been on Facebook romance groups. Someone has been pretending to be me. The crushing realization hit me all at once. Everything I thought I knew about Lin was a lie. The broken English, the sob stories, the intimate photos. It was all part of an elaborate scam. Mai helped me trace the scam operation. The money I'd sent through Western Union had been collected by different people in different Vietnamese cities. The medical documents and hospital bills were forgeries. Even the stories about her mother and her teaching job were complete fiction. This is a business, Mai explained. There are organizations that employ people to create fake romantic relationships with foreigners. They study what Western men want to hear, and they create characters that will appeal to those desires. I spent the next 3 days in Vietnam working with Mai and local authorities to understand how I'd been scammed. The operation was sophisticated, with multiple people playing different roles. The person I'd been talking to was likely a man who specialized in creating emotional connections with Western victims. He probably managed multiple fake relationships at the same time, using different stolen photos for each one. The money collection was handled by a separate team who would pick up Western Union transfers and deposit them into various accounts. The document forgeries were created by another team who specialized in fake medical records and legal papers. You were not their only victim, Mai told me. This same operation has scammed hundreds of Western men using the same stolen photos. You sent $30,000. But some victims have sent much more. The police investigation revealed that the scam operation had been running for 3 years and had stolen over $2 million from victims around the world. They used photos from dozens of different Vietnamese models and actresses, creating hundreds of fake profiles. I tried to get my money back, but it was hopeless. The funds had been transferred through multiple accounts and eventually withdrawn as cash. The scammers had covered their tracks well. The psychological impact was worse than the financial loss. I'd spent 15 months believing I was in love with someone who never existed. I'd shared my deepest feelings, my loneliness, my dreams with a professional criminal who was just doing his job. I returned to the United States and broken. I'd lost $30,000 in 15 months of my life to a fantasy. My friends and family were sympathetic, but I could see the judgment in their eyes. How could I have been so stupid? The shame was overwhelming. I was a successful construction manager, a college graduate, a man who'd traveled the world and thought he was street smart. But I'd been completely fooled by a romance scam that seemed obvious in retrospect. I started researching online romance scams and discovered that I wasn't alone. Thousands of people, mostly men over 50, lose billions of dollars every year to these scams. The techniques are always the same. Create an emotional connection, build trust over time, then gradually extract money through a series of emergencies and crises. The scammers are skilled psychologists who understand exactly what their victims want to hear. They know that lonely, divorced men are looking for someone who will appreciate them, validate them, and make them feel special again. They also know that once someone has sent money, they're psychologically invested in the relationship. Each payment makes the victim more committed to believing the relationship is real, because admitting it's fake means admitting they've been foolish. I spent the last 6 months rebuilding my life and my finances. I've also been working with authorities to help other victims of romance scams. The woman I knew as Lynn is still out there, using Phu Trang's photos to scam new victims. If you're reading this, and you've been approached by someone on Facebook or other social media who seems too good to be true, please be careful. If they're asking for money, no matter how desperate the situation seems, it's probably a scam. Real love doesn't require you to prove your feelings with money. Real love doesn't come with a series of financial emergencies. Real love doesn't involve someone you've never met in person, asking you to send thousands of dollars through Western Union. I lost $30,000 in 15 months of my life to a Facebook love scam. But if sharing my story prevents even one person from making the same mistake, then maybe it wasn't a complete loss. The woman with the beautiful smile who stole my heart was never real. But the lesson I learned about trust, love, and the dangers of online relationships is something I'll never forget. Facebook love can be real, but Facebook scams are far more common than most people realize. Don't let my nightmare become your reality. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I am working really hard to get you to hear the stories from first hand. And finding the people is easy, but getting them to share their stories are hard. You can help me by subscribing to my channel and share it with your friends who would benefit from the stories and be safe.